Everyone in the family respected Grandpa Henry. He was not rich, he was not famous, but he was wise in a way that made people stop and listen. Every evening, he sat on the old wooden chair outside his small house, watching the sun sink behind the fields. His hands were rough from years of hard work, and his eyes carried stories no book could hold. One day, his grandson Evan, a young man in his early 20s, came to visit him. Evan had just started his first job. "I'm saving money, Grandpa," Evan said proudly. "I want to be safe. I don't want to struggle like others." Grandpa Henry smiled, but it wasn't the proud smile Evan expected. Instead, he shook his head slowly. "Never save money," Grandpa said calmly. Evan froze. "What?" He laughed. "That's terrible advice." Grandpa chuckled softly. "Sit down, boy, let me explain." Evan sat beside him, confused. "I didn't say waste money," Grandpa continued. "I said never save it the way most people do." The wind blew gently, carrying the smell of soil and old memories. "When I was your age," Grandpa said, "I worked from sunrise to sunset. I saved every coin. I skipped meals. I wore torn shoes. I told myself, one day, I'll live." Evan listened closely. "But that, one day, kept moving," Grandpa said quietly. "Years passed. My back bent. My hands shook. And one day, my body said no more." Grandpa looked at his hands. "I had money in the bank," he said. "But no strength to enjoy it." Evan swallowed. "I missed chances," Grandpa continued. "Learning new skills, taking risks, helping people, investing in myself." He turned to Evan and looked him straight in the eyes. "Money saved without wisdom becomes a prison." Evan felt something heavy in his chest. "So, what should I do?" Evan asked. Grandpa Henry smiled again, this time warmly. "Work hard," he said. "Spend wisely, but invest in growth, not fear." The sun disappeared behind the fields. "And tomorrow," Grandpa added, "I'll tell you why most people work their whole lives and still stay poor." Evan knew one thing. This lesson was only beginning. The next morning, Evan woke up early. Grandpa Henry was already outside, fixing an old wooden fence. "Grandpa, you should rest," Evan said. Grandpa smiled. "Rest is sweet when work gives it meaning." They worked together in silence for a while. Then Evan finally asked, "You said most people work their whole lives and still stay poor. Why?" Grandpa wiped sweat from his forehead. "Because they save money," he said. "But they don't save time, energy, or opportunity." Evan frowned. "That doesn't make sense." Grandpa picked up a small seed from the ground. "You see this?" he said. "If I lock this seed in a box to protect it, what happens?" "It stays a seed," Evan replied. "Exactly," Grandpa said. "But if I plant it, water it, and take a risk, it becomes a tree." He pointed to a large tree nearby. "That tree gives fruit, shade, and wood. The seed had to be used to grow." Evan nodded slowly. "Money is the same," Grandpa continued. "Most people lock it in a box called fear. They save, but never plant. They sat on a bench. When I was young," Grandpa said, "I had a chance to learn a trade from a skilled carpenter." Evan leaned in. "But I said no," Grandpa admitted. "I didn't want to spend money or time. I thought saving was smarter." His voice became softer. "That carpenter became successful. I stayed a laborer." Evan felt the weight of regret in his words. "Saving kept me safe," Grandpa said. "But safety kept me small." The words hit Evan hard. "So you're saying I should spend all my money?" Evan asked. Grandpa laughed. "No, foolish boy," he said kindly. "I'm saying you should invest before you save." "Invest in what?" Evan asked. Grandpa raised one finger. "Skills. Another finger. Health. Another finger. Relationships. Another finger. Knowledge. These things grow even when money sleeps," Grandpa said. He looked at Evan seriously. "If you lose money but gain skills, you can earn again. If you save money but stay the same person, you stay stuck." Evan felt his mindset shifting. "So real wealth isn't just in the bank?" Evan asked. Grandpa smiled proudly. "Real wealth is in who you become." The wind blew again. "Tomorrow," Grandpa said, "I'll tell you the hardest lesson of all. The one most men learn too late." Evan knew would change him forever. That evening, the sky was heavy with clouds. Grandpa Henry sat quietly, staring at the horizon. Evan noticed something different. The old man looked thoughtful, almost fragile. "Grandpa," Evan said softly, "you said today you'd tell me the hardest lesson." Grandpa nodded slowly. "Yes," he replied, "the lesson that took me a lifetime to learn." He took a deep breath. When I was young, I believed life was about collecting, Grandpa said. Collecting money, collecting security, collecting comfort. Evan listened in silence. I thought once I had enough saved, I'd start living, Grandpa continued. But life doesn't wait. A distant thunder rolled. I worked extra hours, Grandpa said. I missed birthdays. I missed friendships. I missed moments that never came back. Evan felt his throat tighten. One day, Grandpa said, I opened my old savings book and smiled. Then I looked in the mirror. He paused. I was tired. I was alone. And time was gone. Evan looked down. That's when I realized, Grandpa said. Money can be saved again. Time cannot. The rain began to fall softly. Most people protect money like it's life, Grandpa said. But forget to protect life itself. Evan finally spoke. So, what should a man really save? He asked. Grandpa smiled gently. Save your curiosity, he said. Save your energy, save your health, and save your courage. He placed a hand on Evan's shoulder. Work hard, Grandpa said. But don't work scared. Spend money to grow stronger. Spend time to grow wiser. Spend effort to build value. He looked into Evan's eyes. If you must save anything, Grandpa said firmly, save the man you are becoming. The rain stopped. A beam of sunlight broke through the clouds. Evan felt something change inside him, not excitement, not fear, but clarity. I understand now, Grandpa, Evan said. Grandpa smiled. That's all I wanted, he whispered. Years later, Evan would repeat those same words to his own children. Never save money without wisdom. Invest in yourself first, because a life well lived is the greatest wealth of all.